Decapitated female bodies continue to pop up along the East Coast. Evidence suggests this could be linked to a homicidal killer.
Hello, and welcome to Silico Solutions, where making you a star is our #1 goal.
Hey, look!
Know what you're here for. I've worked on many of stars. You're gonna be one of them.
Great.
When passion meets fear, we as filmmakers create nightmares, drawing you into the dark and learning together that we are not so different. The Highlands Horrorfest brings filmmakers and horror fans alike together to celebrate those fears and embrace the unexplainable. Sit tight, hold your breath, and whatever you do, do not turn out the lights. The Highlands Horrorfest Roadshow starts now.
Isn't that fun, everyone? I think it's fun. So, you all come here thinking viral marketing, right? World building. Fun. Now, if I can see to find the steps is the next question, because I can't see fucking shit in this thing. Sorry for the noises. Either way. So, how all this started, how we got into all this, how I make a movie and do all these fun things. Social media. It's fucking toxic as hell. It's a blight, but it's got its promising aspects to it all. At least I think so. It provoked me to make a film, didn't it? So, the marketing aspect, I'm gonna be real honest with you right now. I didn't choose that. I don't claim to know marketing. But I know to stay true in what the fuck you believe in. When you work on something, when you create something, when you curate something, you do it for you. You don't do it for everybody else. You don't follow the trends. That's what they want you to do. That's what they tell you to do. But that's not what the fuck you're supposed to do. Be unique, be individuals, do what's right for you and stick to it, because when the right people find you, and they fucking will, I promise, but when the right people find you, that's when you get to grow as an individual, as an artist, as a creator. You get to make more things, you get to do the things that you want to do. There's my following. So we have all these people here who helped make these things possible. They truly did, because they believe in the things that I do. Why do I point at Grady as I say this? Well, that's because we're live on TikTok at the same time. So my followers are there as well. You bring them with you everywhere you go, doing things like this. You take them for the ride. You let them know that you fucking care about them. And why do we do that? Because without them, you don't get to create the things that you love to create and have an audience for it. That's the important aspect. So, I started this dressing up, being me in 2013. It was supposed to be like a Halloween special thing. Then one day I went live with it in 2020. It went well. It went too well. By 2021, I had decided I would write a film. I got 10,000 followers. That was impressive to me. I liked that. It made me feel good. I was like, okay, let's make a movie. I had a job at a AAA game studio at the time, so I wasn't totally just making this happen with no backup at all. We had the backup. You got to have the backup. Make sure your ass is safe. Don't go off making something or putting yourself in risk without having some kind of fallback plan or a strong foundation to build upon. So, 10K, I'll go and I present my work to one of my old professors. He checks it out and he's like, this is dope. I enjoy it. Let's do something with it. I'm like, great. So Keith Nakov was my assistant producer through this journey. He helped me out with his black book. He got me access into places that I would not have had access to before. He also helped me procure my camera operator. Nice. I had no crew, I had no one, I do all this myself. So when people ask you what the best thing to do is for you is to be a master of one thing, don't. Learn multiple things, everything that interests you, know the pipeline, understand the pipeline, know the ins and outs. So when something fucks up, because it fucking will, you know how to fucking fix it. That's the important aspect, is that you know how to fix it. So, don't be locked into one thing because you're marketable for that one thing, sure. If you want to be a camera operator, great. Also learn sound because sometimes you're not going to have a sound guy. Sorry to tell you. This is actually pretty good. It's a really rich, oh, it says chocolate on it. It's really chocolatey. So, anyway, learn a little bit of everything that you're interested in. You want to be a game designer? Learn how to 3D model, learn how to program, use ChatGPT to your advantage because that fucker knows how to program. Use it. I suck at programming. That's my weak point in game development. Everything else, I can figure out. So try to figure out a little bit of everything because if you can figure out a little bit of everything, you can then build the world to curate to what your abilities are. Now let's go into writing. You start writing your projects, you start writing your scripts, you start building everything up, you start building your characters. You need to become the fucking character. You need to know what it's like to be them, to feel them, to suffer by them. You need to know, because how else do you know how to be the character and be in that world unless you are? It makes a more genuine experience for the viewer. So, when you start building your world up, think about your budget. Think about what you can do, what is in your possibilities of wheelhouse. Know your weaknesses of the pipeline, because you're not going to be a master of all of it. Do be a master of at least 2 of those skills. But you're not going to be a master of everything. You just ain't. But you can be a master of a few of them, but you still need to know everything. It's important to know everything. So, when you're writing your script and you're building your worlds, think about it like this. What can I do? What can't I do? Where am I weak? Who do I need people for? How do I hire them? How much are they? Know your budget before you even start writing your script. Because if you know your budget, you know what you can and can't do. Excellent. Now be ready for rewrites. It's just gonna fucking happen. You want a scene? You got it. Don't be married to it. You're gonna lose it eventually. You're gonna have to cut some shit, and it's so heartbreaking. It really is. But let it go. You can do it again later. You can re-implement it in the future. That's the important thing, is re-implementation later down the line. Just because you couldn't do it this time doesn't mean you can't do it the next time. You've built a world up. You have a following now. You can do it. You just have to wait. So don't be married to anything. As you're writing everything, though, think, visualize, and go through the process of everything. See it with your own eyes. See the camera angles, see the shots, see the shot design, and then get real close with your camera operator. Explain the shots to them. Let them know what you're doing, how you want it to feel, how you want it to look, what emotion you're trying to convey. It's very important to be in tune with your emotions, because if you're not, and you're not in control of them, it's going to be a lot more difficult to captivate that on camera and to really bring in your audience. So, it's important to feel the feels. Moving on. So, now you need to reach out to people. You need actors. You need camera operators. That fucker keeps disappearing on me. It's okay. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's making it interesting for the TikTok audience. Anyways, also for me to take that footage and do something with later for myself. Anyways, so now you need to reach out. You have the viral fan base. Use it. You have to use it. You have to reach out. You have to be friendly. You can be a dick too, because I'm kind of an asshole. I like to be mean to them. They like the abuse and the punishment. They beg for me to scream at them. And I love to do it because it allows me to get some shit out that I need to get the fuck out for myself, that I don't run somebody off the highway, because road rage is a bitch. Moving on though, so use your audience, reach out to them, talk to them, see which ones are truly interested in what you create and what you do. My co-star that you just saw in the trailer, she was from Michigan. I found her on TikTok. I was live. I was discussing the film and how I was going through the process. She reached out to me and said, I want in. I was like, okay, well, let's take a look at you. And I looked her over and I was like, great, you have everything I needed. I needed someone athletic. I needed someone small built and petite. And I needed someone with the motivation and the acting ability to perform sheer terror, fear, and, well, anguish. You know how hard it is to fucking die on camera? It ain't easy. So props to people who can die very well on camera, because it ain't easy. So you use your audience, you find your people, and then you get them to send you demo reels. I had multiple people send me demo reels. I had theater majors send me demo reels. But my friend from TikTok here outperformed everyone. She was excellent. She was very open-minded to all the graphic content that I wanted to create. Should not be touching myself. I have that fucking mic on my thing. It'll make a noise. Don't want to do that. So reaching out, bringing her involved, working very closely with someone you've never met in person is a very interesting thing to do. Because you don't trust people, especially the guy who's over there hacking up dolls in a basement. You're going to trust that guy? You're going to drive 8 hours to work with that guy? Keep that in mind. She did, though. So then I needed camera operators. I worked with students from ETSU. I've worked with all kinds of people. My camera operator ultimately ended up being from Keith, my assistant producer, who allowed me access to his black book. So networking is key. Now, you don't need a college education. You really fucking don't. Save your money because you can do something else with it, or you can continue going to college and get in debt. It's up to you. But the networking you do in college is what's going to make it worth it. That's what's going to make your debt not horrible. Got it? So network, talk to your professors, work with people, impress people, work your fucking ass off, and don't give up on your dreams. Because if this fails for me, then I'm going into porn. It'll work. Trust me, I'm good at it. Anyway, have a fallback plan. Also have some AAA game studio to fall back on, because I was a doll and I left on good terms. So keep your networks clean. I burn bridges because I don't give a shit. When I realize I don't need someone anymore, I will burn the bridge if they are, well, bringing me down. Don't keep people around who are going to bring you down and rip you apart, because they're not going to believe in you. So this is all building up to where we're going. All these stages is the pre-production to get to where the fuck we're going, or where I did it, the way I did it. More than one ways to skin a cat, just saying. So, I've gone through the process. I got my camera operators, showed him my work. He was impressed. He enjoyed it. He was ready to be a part of it. He brought on an assistant camera operator, which was not in budget. So I took it out of my own fucking pocket, which hurt, but it's okay, because he was a lifesaver. He was definitely necessary. So if you have a camera operator who says, I need my assistant, you need to pay for the extra money to bring him on, fucking bring him on. Just saying, you need to bring him on. He's gonna help out a lot. So, whenever you get started with everything, and you bring in everybody, and you have your crew built, and you have everything together, from there, what you need to do is run a very tight ship. Know what you're about to do, know what you're about to get into, because the first day of production, my head was spinning. I didn't know what the fuck I got myself into. Everything was all over the place. So make sure you have a grasp on your project, because I didn't have a project manager. I couldn't afford that. So make sure you have a grasp on that. When you go through it, have every day listed out, have every day planned. It will help you. So, how I built the world behind this. Started off just wearing a mask and getting drunk in my own downtime. Becoming the character. Feeling the character. Knowing everything about the character. And then little imagination things started popping off in my head. Little visions, ideas, stories. And I let them all just play out the way they needed to. Could I produce all of them? No, it's impossible. So take the ones that come easy. Take the path with least resistance to make what you need to make. Because if you go the hard route, you're going to burn yourself out. You just will. Don't burn yourself out. Mental health is very important. Don't fucking fry it. I mean, what do you think the silico aspect of SycoPsilico is? Think about it. So, moving on. Whenever you do all these things and you start showing your pieces off and you build everything up and you have the people who want to watch your work, who want to witness what you have to make, that's when you can take that leap and you can take a chance. I didn't get to make a movie and work at some AAA game studio. That was not an option, so I let the other go because I wanted to not wonder what if for the rest of my life. So don't wonder what if for the rest of your life. Fucking go for it. And do little small projects to build yourself up, to build recognition, to get your name out there a little bit. Because when you do that, more people are likely to help you and assist you. Now let's discuss a producer. Where's your money coming from? How are you getting your funds for this? Funds ain't easy to come by. It's not something that you can just say, hey, here's $20,000, go make your idea. I believe in it. No, because when you get a producer involved, your producer is going to say, show me the script, show me the shot list, show me the locations, show me everything that you want. And then they're going to go through and say, I don't like this message, I don't like this message, I don't like this scene, and they're going to cut shit out of your baby. Do you want that? No. You don't. You want to keep your idea alive. You want to keep it pure to you. One of the things that I wrote when I started this was, stay true to SycoPsilico. So I don't have a producer. I produced it myself. I saved up my money. I had a down payment for a house, a very fat fucking down payment for a house, and still couldn't get one in today's housing market. So I said, fuck it, let's make a movie. And that's what I did. And then I don't have some producer telling me I can't do this. Everybody I know in my network, mentors included, said, you never produce your own project. Why? Why do you let someone else produce your project? Don't do that, because they're going to change it. They're going to take things out. They're not going to care about it the way you care about it. They just don't. And that's a shame, because you have heart and soul in it. They only have money in it. They're looking for the bottom line. You're looking for a piece that you can show and share and be proud of, something that comes from your fucking soul. So work on something from the soul and be true to yourself as you do it. Your producer isn't your friend. Your producer is an investor, simply put, and only that. So if you want full control of what you're doing and you want to pull all the strings, then it's important for you to save up the money and make it yourself. Some amazing films were made off of $5,000. You can do great things with $5K. You can do amazing things with $20K. You don't need $150,000. I forget what Terrifier's budget is, but it was very low. The first film's budget was, I want to say close to $15,000, maybe $20,000, give or take. But that includes getting your camera equipment, that includes paying your people, that includes editing, that includes all the works. So, as you do all this, and you're getting it all together, you now have a fire under your ass. You can fail. And failure is fucking horrifying. You don't want to fail when all of your money is on the line. Unless you have my perspective on it, which is money's fucking pointless. It just is. It's a credit system to keep you in check. So, find you a good, safe place to sit and to set up base camp. Your grandma, your parents, your husband, your wife, someone who believes enough in you to let you live with them to survive. Because without that, this is very, very, very fucking difficult to do. Again, don't burn your bridges, especially with your family. Because mommy and daddy still gives me a roof when I need it. So when I needed a roof after the divorce, guess what? COVID hits, you can't really do anything, you're kind of fucked. Well, what else can you do? You can't buy a house, you can't do anything. Do what you want to do and make your dreams come true. Believe in yourself, light that fire under your ass, gamble your life savings away from a safe distance. Don't just throw it away into the wind because it sucks if you do that. So know what you're doing. Have everything built up, build your base. And as for viral marketing, I'm a shock artist. It's what I do. I like to make people uncomfortable. I like to take things that are very graphic and I like to mix them with contrasting emotion, which then pulls in the ADHD from your average TikTok viewer. Because they're like, oh shit, this made me feel weird. I want more of this. And that's what they got. They got so much fucking more of this. Too much more of this, if you ask me. So, but I love them. They made it possible. So, with all these things in the works, make sure you have a sound base. Because your viral marketing is a gamble. Unless you're paying TikTok to do your thing and throw it out into the algorithm, because right now TikTok does have me held, whatever. They got me by the dick, in other words. So I'm kind of like, well, I might have 200 and some thousand followers, but I'm not praised by the algorithm, so that number don't mean shit. But they keep sending me discount coupons to promote through them, because that's them saying, hey, we'll put you back out there if you give us 20 fucking bucks. So I have a strategy that I'm going to try. I've fucked with the algorithm for quite some time. I've played with it, I've experimented with it. And the best thing that I've learned is cheap quality, quick videos, and shocking content. Because literally all you have to do is have a sex doll head and throw it on a table and they're like, whoa, 92 million views. Why that one? Why not when I'm cutting it apart? Because that's in the movie. That's not in the videos. But why not when I'm making a very cinematic, gratuitous gore shot? When you see all the beautiful blood just pouring down and the camera's catching it just right, the light's glistening off of it. Why doesn't it like that? Because that's where I put all the work in. No. It likes the short form stuff. So it's up to you to do what you love to do, such as making very cinematic masterpieces, making the thing that you are challenged by, because that's what you want. You want to be challenged, right? That's why you do the things that you're doing. That's why you enjoy doing what you love doing. But when the algorithm does not praise that, it gets you in your head. So, balance it out. Feel free to throw some half-ass up there, and then make sure you constantly keep putting in your best. Because then the half-ass work will get enough viewers to pull people in, and when it pulls people in, they'll then view your cinematic works. And then you have people who like to view you live. So if you don't feel like you have a personality, you better fucking develop one, because you need to go live. I don't give a fuck what you're doing. I don't give a shit if you're cutting up soap. Go live, talk to people, engage. That is one of the most important parts to the viral marketing aspect of this, because then you get algorithm praise. The more you go live, the more they're like, oh, please get back here. They want it. You know why? Because people are gifting you, they want that money, and the more people that gift you. Now, I actually don't really like when people gift me. It's like, hey, you don't have to do that. I would rather make money based off of the artwork that I create. So one of the things that I like to do is I like to go live and mutilate Barbie doll heads. And then I'll turn them into little keychains. And when I turn them into little keychains, they're little keepsakes. Then I'm like, donate to SycoPsilico so I can continue to do what I do best. And you get a little keychain. I don't name a price as long as it covers shipping. That's all that matters. And I get a little bit of extra to put in, well, for my lovely implants. And I'm not talking about tit implants. I'm getting better implants. Something nice. Either way. So the important thing is that you're interacting and you're engaging and you're doing something that is interesting. And then when you start mailing items out to people, that's when you can start making a little bit of money to support what you're doing. It's not enough to survive on, but it's enough to keep the project afloat. And that's what is important. It also gives people little keepsakes. It engages more, it locks them into your art, it creates more of an emotional tie. It's important to all this. So, these are all the aspects that go into the fucking marketing side of it. I hate marketing personally, I just despise it, but I am now using this marketing technique to use as an outreach of sorts, to show off my film, because, hey, you made the movie. Build it, they will come, right? That's the mindset. That's the logic that we want to have. If you build it, they will come. And guess what? They kind of did. So, although I am shadow banned for the type of content that I create, the type of art that I enjoy, which is softcore snuff, let's just be honest. It is what it is. So, when you're doing this, and you're putting out all this, and you're making your network connections, you'll start putting in for film festivals. I put in for film festivals, and I'm pretty sure I pissed away about $500. So, fuck me, am I right? It's a part of it. Does it suck? Does it play with your mental health? It does, because it makes you feel like you aren't good enough when you've done every fucking thing. You do it all, and then you feel like you're not good enough, but that's not the case. That's not the case. That's a different kind of game, and that might not be a game that you want to play. So the game I've decided to play, and I'm still testing this out. This isn't me say go for this, because I don't know if it's going to work. I could be royally fucking myself, but hey, I'll let you know, right? And you get to watch. Won't that be fun? But the plan is, from this point, with other content creators and other horror artists from TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all the social platforms, I am now able to reach out and start little events. Right now, I'm speaking with PVD Horror. After I run my own personal event that I'm showing on the 29th, I'm screening my film in Norton, Virginia on the 29th of September. So if you want to come watch a softcore snuff film with some slasher elements inspired by Terrifier and other lovely slashers, then you should come watch. But that event is something I had to put my money into. I had to produce it. I had to invest into it. If you don't invest into yourself, who the fuck is? What's the point in investing in someone that isn't going to invest in themselves? So prove your worth. Then go make an event. Bring people out. I have 80 VIP tickets that came with a t-shirt. I can't touch this. I would love to show you the t-shirt, but I can't. I fucked this up. I think I did, but we're gonna fix it. Either way, this t-shirt was by Split Hoof Designs in Dillon, Rutherford. Is he here with us today? Excellent. Give him a round of applause. He made me an excellent shirt. See what I mean by networking? You show other artists, you show other creators that you care about them. And they care about you, and you create a community together. Because that's why I'm here today. You have to create that community. You have to work together. You can't do it all alone. And I'm someone who likes to do literally everything alone. I'm working with PVD Horror now. They're hosting events, and they do a bunch of movie events, horror trivia nights, all the way up in Providence, Rhode Island. Do you know what I'm going to have to fucking do? I have to drive to Rhode Island. But you know what that shows? That I believe in what the fuck I created! And you should too. No matter what. Even if the fucks that run all those film festivals, the big wigs, are like, no, we don't want you. You know what? They're very selective. And they're pretty much, when they've been around for 14 years, it's safe to say they're inviting their friends to come to this event. So, get in good with new film festivals. Create your own film festival. I'm going to create my own film festival. I'm going to go ahead and just announce a little bit about it. I want your softcore snuff films. I want your horror films that are too fucked up for anywhere else. You know how Trauma's like, make your own movie? Make your own fucking snuff film. I'll show it. And if it makes me kind of shudder at it, you got a fucking spot. You're talking to someone who grew up with fucking watching shock videos on the internet at 12 years old. You want to watch a beheading in Iraq? Sure, let's click it. What the fuck did that do to us? What has the internet done to us? I think it's kind of funny. Either way. So, I have something I've done, and I believe in it so much that I'm willing to start my own film festivals curated specifically for softcore snuff films. I'm willing to drive all the way to Rhode Island, Alabama, Texas, just to name a few of the places that I'm working with to go to my screenings in character. Because you have to be in character to show that you really care about what you've done. And even if you're not in character, definitely present your best. Because this is something you created that came from your soul, after all. Now, if you're not willing to go buy a piece of shit van, put an air mattress in it, and drive around to all these different places, because I'm a broke bitch and this is what I have to do, because I can't afford no fucking plane ticket. But if you can, that's great. Do it. I say do it. But I can't. So I have to drive around and I have to do it this way, because I still truly believe in what I've created no matter what, because I have so much riding on the line. I've put a fire under my ass, and giving up isn't a goddamn option. Do you understand what the fuck I'm telling you? Put a fucking fire under your ass that you can't turn away from, and the marketing and everything else will come naturally. Why? Because you have to survive. Or do porn like me. You can laugh at that, that's okay. Either way, is there any questions for me that you may have? Ask questions, please, for the love of fuck, ask me some questions. Or I'll have to resort to TikTok for their questions. God damn.
Where did you film?
East Tennessee, actually.
Okay.
Oh, see, I gave you all a location. I bet you fucking love that. You got a location. Now you're gonna keep your fucking mouth shut. Either way, are there any other questions? You can film anywhere. You can make a great film in a basement, honestly. Have you ever watched Gerald's Game? Gerald's Game is about a girl strapped to a bed from Kiki Adventures Gone Wrong. Most of the movie takes place in that one location. You can make gold with no locations at all. You can, you just gotta be a good writer. So, create a bunch of shitty writings and get all the bad out until you get the good. Be in tune with yourself. Know what's bad. Be honest with yourself. That is the most important fucking thing, is be honest with yourself. And if you need help with that, psychedelics can help with that. I'm just saying. I mean, Monday, I got to see the face of God, and it was hideous. I'm just saying, it liked it. It liked hearing that word. It laughed at me. But you know what? That makes me doing this nothing. If you can get dissected by God on stage, because that's what the trip was. If you can do that, then you can do this. So light the fire under your ass. Any other questions? Please, for the love of God, give me some questions.
You thought about going on tour
Yes.
across America?
Yes. So what about going on tour across America, do you want to know?
I guess how far do you want to take it?
Everywhere, anywhere. Absolutely. I will take it anywhere and everywhere that will host me, that will allow me to show my film. Of course, I'll let them watch it beforehand. PVD Horror, I gave them the 10-minute demo cut that I showed last year at Horrorfest. And guess what? They fucking loved it. They said it felt a lot like Terrifier, which means I hit my mark, which is amazing. So if anyone, even in California, God, I hope not to fucking drive to California. But I will. Because it is publicity, it shows that you care, and it is a form of marketing when no one else will give you the stage. You take every stage offered to you. Do you understand? I love the squeaks of my gloves. Any other questions? Come on, pull some bullshit out of your ass, ask some questions. You have a question, I bet. Yes, you. Both of you. Give me a question.
You ever seen Mighty Boosh?
I have.
How about Crackbox?
I
Are
like
you
it.
inspired by Crackbox at all?
Not at all. Not old Greg either. I just really liked Mighty Boosh because, well, let's get a little personal. In 2018, I took a mushroom trip, my first one ever. And I'm not saying you should do it, TikTok, wherever the fuck that is. I'm not saying you should do that. Don't do this. This is for educational purposes only. Everything felt like I was on a stage set, almost like how the Mighty Boosh feels. Everything felt two-dimensional, one-dimensional, plastered up on things. The moon felt fake. It all felt fake. Now, SycoPsilico is definitely inspired by psilocybin. So, that's why I give off the feels and the things that I do. That's why this looks like this. Yeah. I took this picture just for this event, right before my Monday psychedelic excursion. Either way. So, that inspired it. So, if that tells you anything, I guess it can kind of go a little bit together. I like the feel of how the Mighty Boosh was, because it was very trippy. So, now I can't go back and watch it. The musical numbers just fucking kill me. They just do. I don't like it. Alright, any other questions?
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking Horrorfest Sweet Revenge. I know my followers like the PBR with the bendy straw and all of that. But this is a different thing I wanted to try. Because Horrorfest has been good to me. Y'all have been good to me. And I love y'all for that. And that's why this is a great community. That's why I'm really glad to be a part of this tonight. I'm very glad to be asked to do this. And to be here tonight. Drove 2 hours to come be here tonight with you all. Why? Even if this room only had 2 people in it. I used to perform a punk band. And I've performed for 1 person in the crowd before. And I will give my best damn performance to that 1 person every single time. Because there is an energy exchange there. They are there for me and they are building me up. And that's what that's a part of. That's a big part of this. Is that energy exchange. See, I'm up here telling you all these things. My wisdom of being ballsy as shit. Let's just be real, like, a lot of people don't have the nerve for that. And a lot of people don't have the cards in their hand to play that. But you still have cards in your hand that can be manipulated and strategized in the way that you need to fit you. Because your problems are unique to you. Got it? Your hand is unique to you. So play it the way you need to. Is it going to be exactly the way you want it? No. You have to there's some give and take. So find your problems, figure out how to solve those problems, and you can go to the next and make sure those problems don't reoccur. That's important. But I appreciate you all coming out here for sure. And I'm glad that I was asked to be here. I'm glad I was asked to be a part of this, and I got to curate a few things to my liking. I like that, because most places won't let you do that. Most places are like, no, you have a setup, you're gonna do it, and you're gonna do it out of character. You have to be professional. This is my professional. I'm wearing a tie. It counts. So either way. More questions for me.
How often do you trip?
Twice a year. I need a good reset twice a year. I do microdose regularly. I microdose today. I wasn't going to, but I did. Which means this beer is technically not going to do anything to me because the inhibitors of psilocybin and alcohol, it's just not going to get me tipsy in the slightest, sadly. But that's okay. I need to drive anyway. So I probably won't even finish this. However, fun fact, I only had 8 days to shoot my film. In 8 days, I shot a 1 hour and 20-minute long movie, a feature-length horror film, which is amazing to do in 8 fucking days. I slept virtually none. Maybe 2 hours here and there. So how did I do it? How did I direct, act, shoot, drive 2 hours there and back every fucking day? Well, I microdosed every fucking day. I made a honey mixture, and before I get up there and do the deed, take a big spoonful, and I offered it to my crew, but they didn't want it. They didn't know how they'd perform with it. I, on the other hand, had a wonderful time with it. So, I think it's only natural to be a little trippy for a psychedelic horror film. Wouldn't you agree? Any other questions? Now, usually I don't microdose every day, but that was a different occasion. It's what I needed to get me through the fucking day, because that shoot kicked my ass a lot. Usually it's twice a week, if you were wondering. Any other questions?
What's the next film?
Next film is a direct sequel, and I'm going to start writing on it in January. But wait! You've not sold this one! I don't fucking care. I'm going to make it anyway. You know why? Because they want to see the first one so fucking bad that I want to make a second. And what I'm going to do is I have a strategy that I'm not quite ready to share yet because I don't know if it's going to work. But if I'm not on a streaming platform by the end of this year, I'm going to open some things up. And I'm going to make the first film available in one way or another. And then I'm going to use the funds from the first film to fund the second film. So I can just go ahead and do that. Why? Because it makes a good fucking story is why. And the better your fucking story is, well, that means someone's going to be more likely to listen to your story. The more people will listen to your story, the more adventurous you get with it. So, I'll get enough funds from the first movie. I know I can create the second movie with a similar budget. I can actually create the second movie with a lower budget because I already have my cameras, and now I have a support team that I didn't have before. So I'm pretty sure that I can reach out to the lovely folks of Horrorfest, who also provided me this lovely beer, and they'll help me with some camera operating. I'm sure they'll be love to have the opportunity for that. And I'll pay them because I don't have to drive people in from fucking Georgia or California or wherever the fuck people are going to be coming from. I like to work locally. Why? Because everybody thinks it's better on the other side. It's not. We have talent here. Utilize it. Look for it. It's difficult, but look for it, and you'll find it. Any other questions? I want questions.
How much blood did you go through for this?
How many people did I go through?
People and blood? How much did you use, you think?
Oh, blood. I mixed at least... I mixed a lot. There was one scene in particular, which I showed at last year's Horrorfest. It had a deep freezer in it. If you saw it, you saw it. But if not, well, I don't want to spoil anything. But that scene alone, it used over half of my blood. And then the last 5 scenes of the film used every bit else, which was probably easy. Me and the makeup artist, we made all the blood. I think it was at least 16 to 20 gallons, maybe. We would use some, then we'd remake some, then use it again, remake some. There was some that came out to be shit, and I was like, I don't want to fucking use that. That looks bad. Let's make new. So that one just kind of got threw away and just got used for the last scenes because, you know, there was a lot of blood there, just all just fucking mixed together. I literally, like, disembowel some things, so you gotta have a lot of blood for a disembowelment. Learn how to make it, it's cheaper that way. You can make some really cool shit if you just make it yourself. Especially to your liking, how you put blood as the ink to your pen when you're making a horror film. If you have shitty ink, then no one's gonna want to read it. So keep that in mind. Any other questions?
Where can we see that other one and this new one? Well, we're gonna be seeing it here.
Well,
Do you have like a website or anything?
So, you can find me on TikTok, you can find me on Instagram under SycoPsilico, Facebook as well, but the movie's not going to be there. You can find little snippets leading up to the film. So right now I'm curating a story, and there are ARG elements into this, which helps into the viral marketing of things. Viral marketing. It's getting lucky is what it is. So there's a little thing in with that, where if you watch and you interact and you comment and you're a part of the lives and you're a part of the videos, you can actually sway me to change my direction. Right now we're given Vicky's storyline. Vicky's in the movie. So that means we get to see what happened to Vicky before the film actually takes place. Because right now the film hasn't happened in the timeline yet. So right now, it's still got the ARG element where if you came in and you said, well, I wonder what Vicky's up to. Well, I'll show you what Vicky's up to. And then if you ask about one of the other characters, let's say Holly, for example, I have something planned, I just haven't shot it yet, but if there's enough interest behind it, then I will go ahead and create that video and show it, and we'll go down that story arc. I have a bunch of different story arcs planned for different characters, and the ARG kicks in when you interact, which brings people in and then has people more interested in what you're doing. Now, the ARG element comes from me being a game developer. That's my dream, that's what I wanted to be. But I sacrificed it after being in the game industry a little bit. I was like, nah, I don't want to be here anymore. Not unless I'm making my own. So I sacrificed that one because I knew the pipeline to the film better. So on with that. So the place that you can see the film, though, to answer your question, because I ramble, I know, I'm all over the place. But the place you can see it is my first screening, September 29th, Norton, Virginia, at 9 p.m. It's at the 93.5 radio station building on Main Street. You really can't miss it. I'm gonna light it up real nice. Also, there's a poster out front on the bar, and you can get those details there. VIPs are gone. Those are sold out, so no t-shirt for you. But there are going to be t-shirts there without the cool colors and all that. But there'll still be stuff there. The general admission is simply a donation. So if you have $1 in your pocket and you're like, let me watch this softcore snuff film, here's $1. I'll give you a ticket. You can come on in because I want asses in seats. It's not about the money. I could give 2 fucks less about the money. I just want to continue to be able to do what I love doing because it gives my life fucking purpose. Any other questions? Y'all ain't asking questions.
What's the hardest shot you got in the movie? Hardest one to produce?
Ooh, hardest shot to produce in a film. Believe it or not, you know the scene where all the fire's coming out from the boiler room there? Originally, I do have this shot, but I don't like it as much. Originally, I was supposed to get blown out of that through the door. Yes, I got blown out of it through the fucking door. I made a prop door to break through. I took pictures of the door there at the building, and then I made a duplicate and put all the stickers on it, and then I set it up. And then I allowed someone to, well, kind of like prop it the way it needed to be. And then I threw myself through it very hard 3 times, and I fucked my back up. But the psilocybin saved the day. I was able to do it no problem. So, although a little bit of back pain, it went away, we're healed, everything's great. Put some pillows down next time. We'll keep that in mind. So that was probably one of the more difficult shots to get because it didn't work out, but I liked the optional where I threw my arm out and you could see all the burns. I really liked that. So that's the one I went with that had more of a horror feel to it instead of a comedic feel to it. Although I do consider my film a dark comedy. Some regards. So, that one or the freezer scene. The freezer scene was very, very difficult to do just because you were very limited and you have to sell it that you're inside the freezer with her. So that was a difficult one to get. But all in all, though, although limited, I think it turned out pretty good. Any other questions? No? That's so disappointing. Okay then. I guess I'll fuck off then. Thank you all for coming out though and listening to me ramble for the past hour. I appreciate it greatly, and hopefully you learned something. Hopefully I inspired you to do what you need to do. Because if I didn't inspire you to do what you need to do, then I'm sorry I failed you. But think about it. Get everything in play, build your base structure, get safe, be safe first, don't just completely fuck yourself, be safe. Find a tight-knit crew of people, because I did this with a skeleton crew of about 5 to 6 people. Find you a crew that knows how to do everything that you don't, and then you know how to do your major skills and then some. Being a master of one only gets you so far. It only makes you producible through the idea of selling you to an art house, a film house, a production company. It only limits you when you only know your one major skill. So know multiple to save your own ass if you're going to be self-producing. And now if you're not self-producing and you're not doing something on your own and you're not trying to build something from the ground up, go ahead and focus on your one skill. Build that one skill up. Be undeniable. I'm undeniable because I have so many skills under my belt that I'm literally like, yes, I know that part of the pipeline because I fucking do it. So you can't deny me of my abilities because I've gotten this far. You can do the same. It's difficult, but it's worth it because you get to see your creation, your image. So don't fuck yourself over. Be cautious. Be logical in your decisions. Be so logical that you poke holes in your own plans until you can't think of any more holes to poke. You gotta be honest with yourself, because the moment you lie to yourself is the moment you fuck yourself. And network. If it's anything I got out of college, also don't go into debt for college either. Don't stay the fuck out of debt. If you have bills, it makes this almost impossible. Stay the fuck away from debt. Don't take shit out of credit, it'll fuck you. But if you have a minimum debt, you can still pull this off. If you have a lot of debt, I hate to tell you, but you might need to forfeit. You throw your shit away. So good luck on that. But if you can get all that together, the best thing that came from me going to college is my networking. VanHuss being a big part of it, Keith Nakoff, all of them. Everybody that I've worked with helped me get to the next places. How I got my job at some AAA game studio, which I won't say the name of. But the way I got my job there was through college friends that I'd worked on major projects with. They put my name out there because, let me tell you this, it is all about who you know. You can be the best damn thing in the world, but if you don't know the right people, what's it fucking matter? You have to be noticeable. You have to stand out. And the only way you're going to do that is to take major risks. Don't follow the trends. Follow your own gut feeling. Got it? Nobody's saying yes, so I guess no one's got it. Just wasted my fucking breath. But for real though, I think if you really believe in yourself and you believe in what you're producing and what you're making, it'll all fall into place. So take the risk. Fuck your 9 to 5. Cause fuck that place. Fuck working a job. Do what you love doing. That shit's a meat grinder. It's just there to churn out fucking mindless zombies to get one meaningless task that artificial intelligence can do done. And they give you a barely a livable wage. So think about it. Think about it. And if this fails, I go to more. And I'm okay with that. Because I know the pipeline. Well, if there's no more questions, then I'm going to fuck off. No more questions. Y'all have a lovely evening. Be safe, heading home. Do the things. Be safe.